Well, for the third straight year, the Tennessee Titans story will begin and end with the story of Vince Young, their quarterback. It's a little bit different this year, the guys, because Norm Chow, who was the offensive coordinator for the first few years, he's no longer there. Mike Heimerdinger is now the offensive coordinator. What do you see as the impact of that change in Tennessee, guys?
Well, Vince Young has just now gotten his first offensive coordinator fired, Norm Chow, after 2 years. And that's after they gave Norm Chow an extension in December. So you go to Mike Heimerdinger, who's a much fiery, firmer hand. You wonder how Vince is going to react to that. And I don't like how he's reacted so far, Jaws, which is he went back to school at Texas and came home for spring break to start learning the new offense.
Yeah, you would think with a new offense you would be there and want to learn. And remember this, under Norm Chow, the offense was very simplistic, a bit conservative, and very vanilla. Mike Heimerdinger is coming in with a playbook that thick. There's going to be a lot of formation variation, a lot of motion. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Vince Young, not only to perform on the field, but in the classroom to understand this offense.
But Chow did say, be Vince Young. Chow used to tell Vince all the time, go be Vince Young. In other words, he didn't try to stifle Vince Young.
There's something in the middle because you get so many of these mobile, athletic quarterbacks who come to the NFL and want to be pocket passers because you say, be Vince Young, be Vince Young. You know what being Vince Young did? It got him hurt a couple of times because the guys are faster and hit harder in the NFL.
It also, Mike, you have to have the supporting cast around you to be successful as an NFL quarterback. No team ran the football more than the Tennessee Titans. However, they weren't effective enough getting the explosive plays in the passing game. They only had 28 pass plays of 20 yards or more. So Vince needs some help at wide receiver.
Everybody comes down hard on Vince Young. And I say, where's the star power around Vince Young? Yep. I mean, the quarterbacks are fine, but are they going to be on an island with nothing around them? I mean, I look at wide receiver. Roydell Williams, I liked him coming out of Tulane, but there were two other receivers drafted that year earlier by the name of Courtney Roby, bust, Brandon Jones, not lived up to potential. Yes. But Roydell Williams has. But he's your number one guy. You're in trouble. I like Roydell, but not that much. And I think you need another wide receiver in the mix. I don't see any stars in the backfield. Lendale White's good, not great. Tight end position. I think they better start getting talent.
No, I disagree. They ran the ball better than any team in the NFL last year. They ran the ball well. The play-action game was available to Vince Young. He just didn't execute it well enough.
Well, I think they did sign Algie Crumpler, and if Algie stays healthy, I think he helps because he can catch the ball anywhere.
What they're going to try to do, I think, is also look at that first-round pick and say, do we have to force a need? Is a wide receiver have to be that first-round pick? The Giants didn't take a wide receiver in the first round last year. They took Steve Smith. Turned out pretty good if you look at the Super Bowl. I think when you look at this team, yeah, everybody's going to say they have to take a wide receiver in the first round. Do they? There's a linebacker named Gerard Mayo at Tennessee. Will be an upgrade over what they had. He's a great player. He's a great character guy. I think he'd be a good fit. You don't have to automatically say, if we don't get a wide receiver in round one, we're done. This draft has some iffy first-rounders, and it's a lot of depth into the third, fourth, fifth round. If you do your scouting wisely, you might find a guy who can help you big time.
They brought Javon Curse back, but they lost some good edge rushers there. So that's another need.
Great defensive front.
Defensive front,
great and tackle.
They have a great defensive line coach in Jim Washburn, but they lost a couple defensive ends, and I'm not sure if Curse has anything left.
So we focus on Vince Young, but the reality is the guys say there's a lot more that Tennessee needs to do to help Vince Young be that star that we've seen a couple of times.